So anyway, he always makes adjustments in his categories. Because remember, his idea is to give you Samanya, Vishesha and Shesha, all that. My father has...
I lost the thread of why we came to Alpachtaram.
No, Vasarjana. He said the question was to Vasarjana. Vasarjana Purvam, so it has to be Purvanipata. So if that is the case, what about Alpachtaram? How do you take that? Suppose, and then it came to when if there is no, you cannot take two words and find out which is Alpachtaram. Both are ideal, then what happens? Both of them.
No, he said that there is one rule about Pasarjana Purvam, this is one rule of placement the words. Another rule is, for example, for Dvanda, is Alpachtaram.
Similarly, Puja is, like Yudhishthira place for...
Yeah, Puja, that's also the suggestion.
Yeah.
They are ready to...
Like for example, there is one Itaritra Dunda, suppose you want to form Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna. You have to say Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna. That is that. That is the order. Order of birth. There is a Vartikam for that.
Yeah.
Incidentally, also it is ascending order of syllables, so it doesn't matter.
That is a rare.
Then I left out Karmadhara. Karmadhara is another type of Tatpurusha. How do you define Karmadhara? Tatpurusha Samaradhikarana.
Karmadhara. See, if you leave us, we will forget
how do you interpret Samaradhikarana? And the condition of Lakarmanicha Bhavecha Karmakebhya. You have to read them together. And one indication of that, when I talk about the rule interaction, blocking and derivation in Pāṇini, put a search and once again on Vipratisheta and you will get that thing. So, because they are interrelated, and what they do is, they characterize the dependency relationship. Dependency relationship between decisions that you make in the process of derivation. Are dependency relations of consequence. And I have done a beautiful sketch, although it's deficient a little bit, it's not complete. The Karaka one is complete because I take the Karaka, the Kara and put that together. But in that chart, the chart on the dependency relations, if you have done the interaction paper, then that has it at the end. Rule interaction, blocking and derivation. So at the end of that, so that is the chart that if you have that one in mind, the entire process of derivation and conditions and relations, they become clear. So the following is a flow chart showing selectional restriction. How we go down with this thing?
The right arrow is down.
So this was a reconstruction of rule context by referential indices. This heavy term, referential indices. What you do when you see Patanjali talks about grammar and says that lakshya, lakshane, vyakarana. So lakshya and lakshanam, etat samuditam vyakaranam bhavati. So what the tradition has done, it has started out with the lakshana, aiming to accomplish the lakshya, goal. That's very interesting designation, lakshya. That's the goal. Okay? What is goal? Goal is the usage. In the loka. But the way he has done the way of Vyakarana, as Nagesha puts, and you must always remember, Shastra Matra Visayam. This is all valid within the Shastra. Outside it doesn't have any meaning. Apadana, Sampradana, Adhikarana, all garbage.
Much less look, and all that.
Yeah. So here what I have done, Nagesha also says, Prakriti Pratyaya Vibhaga Kalpanaya Padani Pravibhatya. If you just have the Prakriti and left over there, you get nothing. So unless you have the Pratyaya, you don't get the derivation. Derivation involves Pratyaya. There are two kinds of Pratyayas, okay? One of the representative is the la at the other end, and those las are related to the choice of vibhakti. But in the derivation, for example, if you have lat, it brings la karmanisha bhavesha karmakebhyaha, that relates to vibhakti 231 anabhihite, when not already expressed, and then that leads you to the expression of agent, object, or agent and bhava. That's the representation of the la karmanisha bhavesha karmakebhya going to la relating to the vibhaktis, anabhihite, and then vibhaktis relating to karakas. Anabhihite karmani dvitiya. So karma comes from karaka. Vibhakti comes dvitiya, etc. to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expressed by sup. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Those are the relations. And then you have thing, that is taking Parasmai Pada and Atmane Pada. These are all designations of, I have carefully not included the Krit and Tadhita, etc. because I thought maybe I'll give another chart.
So, one question. Here you said thing is for Parasmai and Atmane. But Atmane Pada pratyayas are different, right?
What?
Thing. Oh, thing includes that other one.
Yeah, right.
The Akamsha, yes.
So
Okay,
all
fine.
these things, this is a basic representation
Right.
of pratyayas, which also includes vibhakti, sup and thing, that we use in the derivation. This chart also relates to the Karaka chart. This chart, those two also relate to the chart which I have given for Prakriti. See, this is for Pratyaya. But Prakriti, where you have the Pratipadika and Dhatu, the two, then even in the Pratipadika you have Kritadhi Samasasya, the derived nominals, and then in the verbs you have Sanadyanta Dhatavaha, those derived roots. And when you get into the details of the derivational process under those subheadings, then you get the whole jungle. And you bring that whole jungle to this one, and then it becomes a Mahajangal.
Instead of clearing the path. You bring your last. So we have to only pray Patanjali. Jangali Kayamani.
But I'm going to do that. Either A and B. A and B will have, B will have the Kritadhit and the interdependency. But how, I don't know. Initially I thought that I will expand upon, this is the reason why I want you to do these charts that are in volume 1 a single page representation because I don't want anything else written on
First,
that.
maybe a big first, the home.
Yeah.
Chanting.
Plus, there are many others which are already made. I have made those charts. I love charts, talking those terms. So anyway,
Sir, I have one question.
yeah.
In this samasa, you said correctly that then vibhakti should be look deleted. Now, when look deleting the vibhaktis, in Rajnya Purusha, the same example we take, Rajan plus that Nas and Purusha Suk. Now, in deletion, it is one shot, both are deleted, and then it becomes, then again, from Rajan also
It becomes Rajan and Purusha.
Ah.
Then you apply Nalopa Pratipadkantasya. Then
Nalopa Pratipadikasya, then that becomes
Raja.
Raja.
Raja and Purusha.
Then it becomes Raja Purusha.
Yeah.
After that, once again, soup for making it Padam.
Yeah, you have to.
That means your new Pratipadika is ready. Raja Purusha is ready.
Yeah, not yet.
That's what I'm asking.
Not
so
yet.
once two loops and one Nalopa Pratipadikasya.
What happens in compounds, you first form a compound, then you apply the cousins and do Sarjanam Purvam first, so that I call pre-placement. Okay? So you get pre-placement, then you get the loop deletion of the vibhakti. The number and gender of the compound has to be determined. Parval lingam dvandva purushayo. So that determines the gender. Then you go to the accent. Especially in case of Bahubris, there are all kinds of problems. There is a whole case in the Adhyaya 6. There is one heading that says Bahubri Hau Prakritya.
Okay.
That's a single accent. Okay? So, Samasasya is another section. So, only after applying that, you come back and go to Pratipadika and send it to 411, 412. 411, 412, as I explained to you, the input is either a base ending in the feminine affixes marked with ni or with ap, giving 6 feminine affixes: nip, nish, nin, tap, chap, dap. So you got 6 feminine affixes. A word, for example, aja, can be introduced as a up word, abanta. So, anyway, then let's see the choices when this input goes to 411, which is a heading rule. Then let's see what it can select. The first rule is Swabjas Mautas Chasta Vyam Bisinga Vyam Vyasagasi Vyam. So, soup. So, you want to use soup? Go ahead, use soup. Either after a word ending in a feminine affix or after a Pratipadika. If you introduce a Pratipadika after a Pratipadika, then it goes strictly to Padasya, Angasya Padasya, it yields a Pada. If you go to the Nyabanta and then add a soup, then it goes again.
That means in the case of feminine Pratipadikas, first ni or ap decide and put it there.
What I am trying to show to you is that there are certain choices that you make while in the derivation that yield some other kind of results. They are consequential. So if you select soup, then you go and derive a pada. Or that soup could be part of something like samarthabhyam, prathamabhyam. So that is the different story. There has to be dependency relationship between two words. So that's one choice Pāṇini offers to you if you reach there with a pratipadika or a word, a pratipadika ending in a feminine affix.
So in this ni of pratipadika, that is nya pratipadika, does it mean that pratipadika is an anuvritti for any other subanta formation? Whereas if the subanta has to be for a feminine affix word, then first ni up, then come to sub.
No, just to go, he puts you on the plate, he puts you choices, which one you want to take. The first one is soldier smoke, soup. Remember, you are out of that domain after the soup operation. Then go to striyam. Striyam is a domain which introduces affixes ni, ni, snin, and tap, chap, dap. If your input is already ending in chap, tap, dap, ni, ni, snin, then it's useless to go into that choice.
No, I was asking, what was Pāṇini's idea behind putting ni up in the Adhikara Sutra could have been just pratipadika?
No, then he will leave out the words such as Shargaravi,
That is three.
Sar, Gargi. They won't be defined as pada.
Gargi is after feminine.
Gargi is not a pada. Unless you add a soup and go through the process and
No, but right, it is not a pada, sir, agree. It has to get first pratipadika. That is why Nyab is put.
yeah, so you go before it. Before you get, it says Nyabanta. So unless you have a Nyabanta, then you go straight. If you have Nyabanta, then you don't qualify to go into the domain of Striyam. Why would you go there? Because you already have the feminine affix.
Right, that is what I was asking.
Yeah.
You mean to say without Nyabanta, Lokataha, that is going to be a separate set, meaning Yatha Lingam to Lokataha Grihyate,
Yeah.
na Shastrate.
Pāṇini doesn't have any inkling about the meaning. He doesn't.
Yeah.
So what is the Vyakarana? What is the extent? When you talk about Vyakarana, what is the limit he sets for Vyakarana? Vyakarana is from here to here to here. That's it. You get the vivaksha for a word that's here. That's why they say buddhyarudha shabda.
Right.
So you get the buddhyarudha shabda, you verbalize it here, and then you as a listener listen. So the moment my utterance
Complete.
hits your outer ear, my purpose is sound. I don't have any business beyond that.
Can't have.
That's why cognition, comprehension, etc., all these is kota, pratibha, etc., they're not the subject of the gap. The grammarians have imagined all these things. That's why from lip to the ear. That's what Vyakarana is. I don't even include Spota. Remember, Vyakarana is Shastra Matra Vishayam. It has to be visual. You have to be moving through all kinds of things. The Spota doesn't have a process. It doesn't have the beginning, doesn't have the end. It's there, it just happens. With the speed of sound. Boom. Similarly, Pratibha. Pratibha, how do you define Pratibha? Pratibha is the meaning of a sentence? I don't understand, because I don't put any faith in meaning as a Vyakarana. But since people talk about meaning, talk about Pratibha, it's a great creation of Bhartihari. Even though we don't understand it, we don't understand the process of spota, because there is no process in spota. In that Spotavada paper that I wrote for Chattopadhyay, I have used some beautiful expressions I could be proud of, about the spota. So, Vyakarana, as some would say, suffers, from broader description and things. But no, the nature of Vyakarana, the way Pāṇini has defined it and given us, doesn't include meaning, doesn't include this cognition and things like that. So whatever is visual, that's it, Vyakarana. That's why I say from here to here. What goes before that, simply there would Shabda or Vivaksha. There is no process involved in there, no description. And whatever happens beyond, a Vyakarana believes, where I have written that the buddhi of the listener remains on a par with the buddhi of the listener.
Speaker.
The listener remains on the part of the speaker.
Speaker, yes.
Yeah. So that is how the Ramayana puts it. Other than that, it's very difficult to write on Pāṇini when it comes to questions of meaning and cognition and pratibha, etc., etc. I have found very difficult because the grounds are very murky. You can be trapped. So anyway, that's how far we go today. We can take a couple of questions if you want. But let me just finish that Striyam thing. So there are three subdomains. So one subdomain is Subanta, so just mouth, 412. There is another subdomain, that of 413, which is Striyam. Yet there is another subdomain which is Tadhita, 4176. The input of Tadhita, except for Samarthabhyam, Prathamabhyam, is always a nominal stem. Yeah. So if you have the input within that larger domain, going to the subdomain, you make a choice of going to the Tadhita, then you come out of the domain to that 411 again. Because you will always have the Tadhita ending word which is a nominal stem. Krit Tadhit Samashascha, define it as a Pratipadika. So the whole thing, you enter here, come back here.
Then after adding the Tadhita Pratyaya and getting this one, once again you are back at Pratibha.
So that's why it's called, what is the word I have used? It's a circular process, although I have not used the cyclic application. So you are subject to cyclic application if you take the option of tadita. Similarly, you are subject to cyclic application if you take the option of striyam. The only place where you don't have the cyclic application to go through is 412 swaujas, barring where a subanta is required to be the input, either in the samasa or in this tadita formation, or even in the sanadhyanta section. Those are three sections where a syntactic unit can form the input. So there is cyclic application.
Inescapable.
The transformational generative grammarians, they have used all kinds of amusing terms, especially in phonology, which one is tempted to identify with some rules which have been characterized by traditional grammarians. For example, pratiprasava. What is pratiprasava? They use bleeding in phonology. Bhattuji and others, they all have used pratiprasava. They also use prapancha. What is prapancha? Prapancha as if it was something bad? No, it has a particular meaning. I have tried to explain these things, all these terms everywhere. Wherever I have used them, I have defined them. My own way, many of them, hopefully, which could make sense. All right, any question you may have?